Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andre.
And I'm Benoit.
Hey, and we have something really exciting for you for the next little bit. This is a cube draft
Hmm.
that Benoit, you kind of ran that we did. This is actually pretty old. I've been sitting on this footage for a while, and
Yeah.
it's about time we got this out. Um, Cube draft is really fun. For those who are not familiar with the idea of a cube draft, it is pretty similar to a normal draft.
Yeah, except that you don't play with the draft pack. You just build your cube out of your collection of cards that you currently own.
Yeah.
There is a couple lists that you can get online. We're gonna link one, I think.
Yeah, so we used a list that came off of StimHack.
Yeah.
Sneaky Slide from StimHack. He has been actually regularly updating these lists for all the new data packs that are coming
Hmm.
out. And I think the one we used was Old Hollywood.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember because it's been a
It's
while,
been a
but
while. But this is like about 320 cards and it's
for both sides. So
for both sides.
you have a cube for corp and one for runner. So basically you take the 320 cards, you shuffle all of them, and you create these draft packs that we can see on the screen, on top of the screen, which is four different packs of 10 random cards, all coming from the cube. So we can see that you're starting right now to draft your corp side.
Yep.
So you start with all these cards, so you can include private contracts,
Yeah.
priority rec, as you can in the normal draft packs.
So drafting is really exciting because there are no limitations when it comes to influence.
Hmm.
You have a special identity for the corp, and it just says I think the minimum card deck size is 30 cards,
30 cards,
which
yeah.
requires I think 14 to 15 agendas.
I think it's 14. Most people play 14, 34. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, really exciting. There's no influence limits, so you can get really wacky decks. Any piece of ice could be a Koma Inu.
Hmm.
A Scorched Earth could be anywhere, and it gets really, really fun really fast.
Yeah. So we basically did a draft with 8 players, which is about the max number of players that you can draft this cube because of the
Yeah.
number of cards. So I think there was like 3 or 4 cards left over. So all the cards from the cube are almost in the draft, but you never know what's gonna go around the table.
Yeah, so the idea for draft is you draw your first pack. I think it's 10 cards.
Yeah.
You get to pick one of the cards from that pack, and then you hand over all the cards that you didn't choose to the person on your left or right. Um, let's start with round one. It should be pretty obvious how this starts. You do start with the corpse side, just so you have an idea how to build a runner deck after.
Yeah.
And first pick is
Ooh,
always exciting and fun.
it's
You have the most options, and this pack looks like it has a lot of ice.
interesting choices. Caprice is
Yeah.
obviously a really, really good starting choice. I think there's a lot you can do with Caprice in your deck. So you'll probably see more ice as the draft goes. What's important to know in drafting is that your decks are pretty bad. Like they're
Yeah.
not they're the cards that are selected in this particular cube are pretty strong. So your deck is gonna have strong cards, but there's like no synergy between your cards. So you never have all the money you need. You never see the agendas on the moment that you need your agendas. And as the runner, it's even worse. It's like, but that's what is particularly fun about drafting.
Yeah. So normally, if you build a corp deck, whether you're going to make sure that there's a certain amount of economy in it, a certain agenda suite, and with this, you have no choices. Like
Oh,
that's a government takeover. You can throw that into your deck, and then your deck could have what maybe four agendas
all
in it.
right. So I think it's basically time to talk about that beer right there.
Oh
So
yeah,
we're actually drafting at one of my place in Montreal that is called the Randolph Pub, and it's a board game bar. So
yeah.
we can host event there, and it's about it seats about 200 people. So we have a bar there. So we're gonna have beer all night long while we draft and play
Yes.
games.
Alcohol goes really well with draft. I'm enjoying a Saint Amboise. That's the apricot. And
So I'll take over now.
also, that's
So
good. That's
yeah.
money. That's always good. You could have that. You also have to worry about your agenda density.
Oh yeah.
I think just going into with 5 priority requisitions is a problem. Oh, one thing totally worth mentioning is that you only play to 6 agenda points.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So that government takeover is a single access win, which is
Which is
hilarious.
crazy good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is really cool.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm gonna pick up that marked accounts. That is some money. It is a trashable asset.
Ooh.
I think the runners actually don't have that good of an econ too, so it is hard to contest assets.
Yeah, the cube list now has more econ than previously because of just the new cards that are released, like Day
Hmm.
Job, and so we add most of the econ cards. so we can play with more econ. So you decided to go for Enigma. It's good to note also the 3-2's agendas are really, really strong in draft.
Yeah,
So
quite.
whenever you see a 3 advancement 2 points agenda, it's really, really strong. Just because you can install it, and if the runner doesn't manage to get in, you can score it right away.
Yeah. So this was my first draft, and the things I was worried about going in is agendas, and ice. I know from the other kind of draft that FFG makes, the official draft,
Hmm.
and the runs are kind of at a premium
Yeah, yeah.
on the ice. Usually the ice does some taxing stuff, some program trashing stuff like that. So when I see an Enigma, which is a good ice, especially in a world where Yogg can't be everywhere,
Hmm.
I'm gonna take that right away. And this, oh, I don't know if this is the
The
pack.
difference between the draft pack that you see and what you get in Cube is that we most of the time we restrict the number of cards to a certain amount in the Cube,
Yeah, it's
which is
balanced.
not in the draft packs. Like
Yeah.
the last time we did the draft pack, my card deck had 4 mythical breakthroughs, which is actually pretty crazy
Oh
because
wow.
the last one is just
Oh, what, 2 for 1?
install advanced core.
Yeah.
It's like it's crazy. So so yeah, so this cube is limited to 3 of one card. So there's not more than 3 Scorcher.
Right. So now you can see as the packs are getting thinner, all the really, really
Uh-huh.
strong cards have been bleeding out.
Yeah.
And so choices are getting a bit more interesting. You're gonna have to continue to build your deck based off of what you've already drawn,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of compiles really strangely. Aaron Boy, that is econ as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned. That is
Mm-hmm. It's
also
taxing, it's pretty
it's
taxing for
taxing.
your centrals.
And so again, across 8 people, there's only 3 parasites
Mm-hmm.
and 3 clone chips, let alone even deja vus. So
Yeah.
I'm not that worried about taking all the low strength ice because I think that stuff will stay around.
Mm-hmm.
Inazuma is actually pretty good. Fast Track's not too bad, but looks like that's going to be an
Yeah, you
efficiency
didn't
committee.
draft any like maybe one agenda
Yeah, I
so
have a
far.
hostile
So yeah, so
takeover.
a 4-2
So
is pretty good. This one is actually really good if you manage to score it in
because
draft.
even in draft, if you just take credits for
Mm-hmm.
3 clicks, that's
Yeah,
an
why
agenda
not?
that costs you
Yeah.
1 credit to score. So that's fine.
Also good to note that you're not gonna, when you deck build, you're not gonna be able to remove all the bad card from your deck.
Yeah.
So we basically draft 40 cards, and you have what, two hostile take. What are the cards that you start with?
uh,
Two private contracts
Five by 5
and
private.
5 priority
Oh,
rec.
context. Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you drafted some agendas, you're gonna cut the priority rec first.
Yeah.
So basically, you drafted 40 cards, and you're gonna play 34 out of them. So you cut 6 cards, which is not a lot of cards.
So this is, I think we're nearing the end of the round. This draft is 3 or 4 rounds. I think it might be 4 rounds.
It's 4. You mean
Yeah.
the number of packs?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
4
4
packs of 10
packs.
cards. Yeah.
So the interesting part is when you're starting to pick from only 2 cards, and then eventually somebody just hands you the card you got to pick. You know, I'm surprised Fenris went around this long.
Bad pub is
Bad pub is something.
yeah, econ is pretty bad, so bad pub is not good for
And
core.
no surprise, the universal connectivity fee
Yeah,
is
looks
not
like
chosen by anyone.
in first pack, no one decided to go tag.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. You can tell from that. And
Yeah.
it's also really interesting to see what people didn't pick,
Mm-hmm.
so you have an idea of what to be scared of
Yeah,
when you're
a
building
good
a runner.
drafter is gonna remember most of the packs that he passes.
Yeah, yeah.
In an 8-player format, it's different because the packs only has 10 cards compared to Magic 15 cards. So the first pack that you see when you pick one card is gonna come back with only 3 cards. So it doesn't give you a lot of information about what other players are drafting. If you draft with the smaller number of players, you can see the pack multiple times. So you basically know what cards other players are picking out of the pack.
Right. And this is the first pack of the
Ooh,
second round,
yeah.
and I think I just dropped everything on the floor. But that wasn't very good. I think an ABT is a really
ABT
solid,
is really strong.
really solid card.
I think I saw Adonis.
Yeah, there
which
was
is
one Adonis,
Adonis
which is worth
really
considering.
good.
Efficiency
Another
committees, we can
agenda.
go in, more agendas, and then some ice.
Do you have an idea for your deck right now, or
No
is
idea.
it
Honestly,
You're
no
just
idea what I'm doing.
at that point you're just picking good cards, so
Yeah,
cards that you would play all by themselves. You're not trying to build.
because I was scared. I
Mhm.
honestly, this was my first draft, so I didn't know how bad it would be if I had to play with a Pyrex. Take a Grim. Grim's actually going to be
Mhm.
hard to break. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. If you manage to trash a program, it's pretty good.
Yeah, because so another thing about the draft meta is that recursion isn't as reliable as it is when you're playing against any other shaper du jour.
No. Hmm.
So trashing a program can be huge.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure as a runner I wanted to have at least 2 versions of each program, like 2 killers, 2
Yeah.
decoders, 2 fractors, and so on. So trashing one of them is huge. The deck sizes are small, actually, so finding breakers is not the worst. And that's an Nisei, and that's a good card. Ooh, that's all agendas. Oh, I like how Benoit, these are all
Ooh.
your cards, so there's actually a lot of nice alt arts floating around in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How long did it take us to sleeve all these things? They're
Uh,
not that bad.
yeah, everyone participated, so it was
Yeah, it
not
really
that
wasn't
bad.
that bad. You
And
do have a
I
lot
think at
of
that point I had like 6 decks built
yeah.
that I just put in the cube, and I always use blue sleeves for my corpse and red sleeves for my runners. So
That works.
hmm
It looks like that Nisei is probably the best bet. That is a super strong card in any version. The Brain Trust is actually not that bad. Is
yeah,
it
Brain
3/2? Or
Trust
even the
pretty
Philotic is
yeah,
fine.
Brain even Fetal AI. You can
Yeah,
kill someone
you
in
can kill
draft.
someone. I just don't see myself
You just
scoring
put
a
a
Fetal AI.
Kamainu and then he runs
Yeah.
through the Kamainu and accesses.
So we got another pack there. I'm not convinced that the Corporate Town is going to be that good with so few
No,
resources.
maybe not.
Um,
I think we see a lot of cards that are gonna be more powerful with the newer version of the draft, like with
oh,
the new
with all
cards.
the new NBN
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
because
I
there's
agree.
casting call and there's different cards that are pretty good with the newer cards that are gonna be added to the cube.
So currently, I have no way of punishing tags, but Casting Call had just come out because
hmm
Old Hollywood had just come out. So I thought, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
But we'll see if that works out. I
and
don't.
there's a lot of tagging cards floating around, so
Yeah,
maybe
there
at that
is.
point you're like, I don't think anyone's drafting for tags,
And
so
that
maybe I'll.
it opens this really interesting part of Netrunner in which if you have a tag, you kind of think, wait, should I clear this or not? Because
hmm
okay, you're playing against a Wayland, and Wayland tags you
Yeah,
in normal constructed. You'll clear the tag immediately.
yeah,
But if I tag you, who knows?
yeah. In
Yeah,
draft, anything's possible.
whatever. I do pick up the Chimera. I think Chimera is going to be really good. It
Yeah.
requires all 3 breakers. I'm not that worried about
I think
Parasite.
Imitsubako is really, really good breaker
Yeah,
in draft.
I'll take it.
Forces the runner to get the breaker, and you can bring it back, put it somewhere else.
I've
Strong,
played
strong,
I've
strong
played some
barrier.
Himitsu, and I don't think I've been capitalizing on the moving ability that
hmm
much. It's good for Parasite
Yeah,
avoidance, I
of course.
suppose. But even then, that costs you money. And this is again, we're coming to the end of it. I think Trick of Light's actually really strong in
I think it
draft
is. I
because
think it
Clot isn't
is.
a thing.
Yeah.
But you know, Shipment
Shipment,
is good.
Econ.
It's econ, and I do have an efficiency committee.
I think Trick of Flight is,
I
in my
just don't have
opinion, just.
advanceable
I know
ice.
that's the problem at that point.
If I had some
You
ice
still have
walls,
20 cards to go through, so
yeah,
you
that's true.
might look for something to advance, but
All right, so hey, there's
just
advanceable
like
stuff.
for example, a Project June bug
Yeah, we could go for that.
would have been nice with your Trick of Light, but
You know, tech startup is okay to get the private contracts up,
yeah,
but I'm
Daily
gonna go for
Business
a
Show
daily
is
business
really
show.
strong. The econ of Runner is so bad that
Trashing is really
oh,
hard, and
trashing for 4 when you have no wizard or no
it's rough.
it's rough.
And so there's going to be 3 Jackson Howards floating around the table,
Uh-huh.
which means it's currently I don't have one. I think if you don't see it in the opening pack, you're probably not going to get it. And so if I take a daily business show and I put an agenda, a 3-pointer on my bottom of my deck, that is out of the game basically. We could have taken it and thrown it on the floor.
hmm
No one's going to see that.
Unless you reshuffle your deck
Yeah,
for some
but
other reason.
how?
Not gonna happen.
No, it seems pretty good. I think I'm waiting on the last card, whatever. I think that's actually on my left is Patrick.
Okay.
So I'm going to see what he has to give me. And it's always exciting to see what they give you. And that's not too
Not
bad.
bad.
Okay,
You need 2 pointers at some point,
that's fine.
depending on your deck.
So now I have 2 efficiency committees and one shipment from Sansan. I'm beginning to build a combo.
Yeah.
This could work out. Another thing worth noting is that between games, when you're playing in draft, you can actually sideboard, like you
Yeah,
can swap out
You can
cards
swap any cards.
based off of performance. This wasn't exactly a tournament as much as just a fun thing to do on a Monday night, so it's not like it was that competitive anyways. But yeah, I did play a couple games and realize what works and what doesn't work. I just want to show you the kind of ice I have. It's a pretty good mixture. I only have 1 barrier, but I do have code gates and sentries and 1 mythic that does end the run, which is pretty good.
Yep.
Everything else is relatively taxing. I think Chum is technically an end the run in a lot of ways. I am excited about the Caprice. Caprice can do work.
Yeah,
Caprice and
could
Nisei.
work.
Yep.
It's not as efficient as it is in Constructed, just because of the flow of the games.
Yeah.
But Caprice is always good.
So we're about to enter round three. I'm hoping to see good things. The rotation, the way that you hand off cards does switch now.
Ooh, snare.
Ooh, snare is good. Explodapalooza also pretty
Yeah,
good. That's
Melange, great card for draft. It's so
man,
good.
I worry that I don't pick that melange.
Oh, Sundew is not bad, but it's not as good because preventing. Yeah, snare. I think you picked all the four good cards. Those
That's
four
it.
is
Yeah, I usually put this on the top and
yeah.
pass them to the next person.
I just reshuffle the pack every time
Oh,
I pass
really?
it. Yeah, just
That's
so I
smart.
don't put tells or
Yeah.
like I hesitated between these three cards, so I just reshuffle all the packs. Edge fund is
So
almost always the first
what was
pick.
in that pack?
I
Eric
don't
just
know.
handed
It's
me a
always
hedge
the same
fund.
thing. That's what's so funny about drafting is that the player talk during the draft is so fun
Yeah, it
because
was actually
everyone's
pretty
like, "Oh my
talkative.
god, I can't believe I just drafted this,"
Yeah.
and some people are flashing cards to other players, and it's just part of having fun. And
It's absolute chaos and
yeah,
it is a ton of fun just to see like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, but no matter what, it is really fun. That's
yeah.
an Eli 1.0. I'm gonna take that.
And just like picking cards that you see in all your decks but not at the same like without having any restriction of influence or just trying cards that are not usually played at the same time
Yeah.
is what is really fun about drafting.
Weird combos can
Yeah, and
occur.
it seems like it's not gonna work. Like, or this doesn't make sense. It's not gonna be effective, or my deck is not gonna work. And sometimes you manage to build something,
It's
and
honestly
you,
not that bad.
yeah, and you see oh, if only I draw these three cards at the same time. And when it happens, it's great. It's so much fun.
Yep. And I find the feeling as a runner is also really exciting
Uh-huh.
because face checking ice is not the way that it is when you're playing constructed. I'm running against an HB. Oh, that could be an architect, that could be an
Yeah, yeah,
Eli.
yeah.
And you make all these decisions based off the worst case scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck with that.
Oh, another shipment. That
There's
might be good with your
with
fortunes
two
agenda.
efficiency, yeah, and another shipment might be good. I think if I don't pick it, it won't come around to me.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure. Let's see how many cards there are in there. If there's like less than 8, it won't come around, I think. I think that's the math. Bastion's pretty good. Another Himitsu will do. But you know what? I'm going all in on this combo. Let's do this.
Yeah, if there's 8 cards, like
Yeah, it won't come
it's not
back.
gonna come back.
Cool.
Fetal AI. There's a lot of net damage.
There
Someone could have
is a
built
lot of
Architect.
damage.
Oh,
And that's the thing is I haven't seen any Scorched Earths.
uh-huh.
I haven't seen any
So you
snares
know that
besides the one I
someone
took.
is drafting
Somebody is
them.
planning. One person across the table to the left, I don't think he's been on stream so far, but his name is Dom.
Yeah.
And I have knowing the personalities of the people around this table, you can tell what they're
Yeah.
drafting, which is
It's-
so much fun.
Their first pack is not gonna matter. They
Yes.
already start with
Yeah.
their game plan, and they're gonna cut
I-
all the good cards that they need to
I
kill
have
someone.
no doubt Dom has a snare
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
somewhere.
And
Eric
and
has
I,
Scorched.
if I remember correctly, during the runner draft, they actually picked cards that would prevent them for winning as Corp. So they would draft
against
Blastcreets.
their own?
Yeah, so just people don't draft the Blastcreets so they
But
can
it should
kill
be the
people.
opposite because if you have all the Scorched Earths.
Yeah, so you pick the
You're
Blastcreets.
good, yeah.
They took the Blastcreets out,
There's
which
al-
is so cool.
Yep. Oh, hey. Oh, now I understand. Yeah, that is really cool.
So when they saw a Blastcreet, they were not gonna play them because they had all the Scorch, but they would take the cards just so other runners didn't get Blastcreets.
Interesting. I never thought about that when
Yeah,
drafting, but
so
I don't
cool.
think any of my strategies were that.
Yeah, I played a lot of draft in Magic, so
Right.
yeah, I draft a lot. All right, so we see your deck on the right. Good job on the overlay, by the way.
Thank
It's
you.
really
Yeah.
fun.
Hopefully everything's organized. You got some ice here. None of that. A lot of that's really
Oh,
expensive.
Lapdog, interesting
I
choice.
think Lapdog is good
Yeah.
because people are hopefully going to be running a console and only
Uh-huh.
one ofs, and
Yeah,
there's
makes sense.
no way to recur that. There's
Mhm.
no parasite. If someone admins at 0, okay.
Yep.
I don't see that happening.
Mhm.
So Lapdog is exciting. I also did draft some cards just to see what they would do.
Yeah.
Because
I think the
it's
packs
fun.
that were pretty new. Like I think
Yeah.
the cards I included were just released.
Yeah.
Or maybe even I bought them at Gen Con or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's packs that I brought back from Gen Con.
Because I tended to pick some stuff that I wasn't sure of. RSVP is basically an end the run.
Oh, but RSVP in front of marked accounts or daily business show or
It's good.
everything's good.
I did pick the troll just because troll is kind of really fun.
You're a troll.
Yeah. That card actually did a lot of work.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of troll.
We had some problem with the wording at first when the card was released.
On troll? Oh,
Yeah.
whether
Just
you
because
have
of,
to?
Yeah, do
Yeah.
you have to or
Another efficiency committee.
wow,
We're
there we
doing
go.
it. We can do
Crazy.
it. I have all
Yeah.
3 efficiency committees.
Uh-huh.
2 shipments from Sansan. This is a good deck, I think. I'm
Yeah.
hoping.
Uh-huh.
And let's just see what
What's
comes up.
your econ like? I think you're
Yeah, I don't
missing
know. Yeah,
some econ
I don't have
cards, but
econ.
that's like you're playing all two private contracts
Yeah,
for
I'm probably gonna
sure.
keep the private contracts.
Yeah.
Executive Bootcamp is a light econ card, sort of, but I don't want to res ice. Like I don't want to expose my ice because that's half the fun
Mm-hmm.
in
Searching
draft.
your R&D for an asset is not that
It's
bad.
good. Then that's
With
good.
Melange?
With Melange, I don't have a Melange.
Oh, you didn't pick the Melange.
No, I took a
Oh.
snare.
Market
And a
research.
market research is technically an agenda. And you know what? People might float tags. That can't be that bad.
Yeah.
That can't be that bad. Remember, you're only playing to 6 points, so a market research and a priority requisition under the certain circumstances could be game.
Uh-huh. Right now, the problem is your style takeover. If you have only one pointer, it doesn't help you if you play only 2 pointers.
Oh yeah, it doesn't, but it's econ. I think I'm
Yep.
playing it just for the money.
Mm-hmm.
Bad pub is gonna suck. We got another opening
Ooh,
pack.
Sweep
Sweep
Sweep.
Sweep is always good to see. Biotic Labor as
Biotic
well.
Labor is really good.
You know what?
Oh,
I
there's
don't.
a couple good cards.
Beanstalks is good. Again, everything hits the floor.
Yeah.
This is the drinking, I guess.
And it's also a stool table, so
Yeah, that's true.
it's
That's
bad
true.
when you drop the cards.
Yeah, it's really rough.
Sweep Sweep for sure.
Yeah, I'll take Sweep
In my
Sweep.
opinion, Edge Fund, Sweep Sweep, really, really, really strong. It's always gonna do work.
Yep.
Wow.
And
Now we see meat on
now it's
the
all coming around, and
yeah.
that's a
Hey,
whole
that's
bunch of
a
good
Wayland
ice.
deck right
Yeah,
there.
a lot of the Wayland ice wasn't separated really well in the shuffle, I don't think.
Okay.
But Eli or Ice Wall,
Spider Web's pretty good as well.
it's just expensive.
Yeah.
And
I think Eli's
yeah, I
pretty
think the
strong.
econ is really tight in this. Spending 4 for an end to run,
Yeah.
because like it's
Like
not like you have to tax lady counters or Faust or
mhm.
anything. So an end to run's an end to run.
Also, like most cards that are really, really strong in normal format
Yeah.
are also good in draft, like most
Yes.
of them. Unless they require a specific combo.
Yeah. That's another enigma. I guess we could go for another Nisei, but I don't know if I'm happy with my agenda spread. That is a lot of really scary ice. Komainu.
Komainu.
Ooh.
Even Roto Turret is good.
Yeah, Roto's not bad.
Yep. But Turing?
Turing's too expensive, and I don't think I have enough
Yeah.
assets. Arcade Memories is always going to be good. That could be another hedge fund. Yeah, I guess that's what I went for. Okay, whatever. I do have some scary sentries already, so maybe Komainu is eh. And that's the thing is, when I was picking things, I did not know what kind of breakers
Yeah.
the runner would
Because it
have.
was the first time we played with the cube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know, like, oh, is there going to be a lot of fairies floating around?
Yeah.
Is this
Oh,
going to be a
there's 3
problem?
fairies for sure in the
Yeah,
cube.
okay, 3 fairies.
Yeah, most cards that you like, this card's pretty strong. It's probably in the cube.
So I got to choose between 2 of my favorite pieces of ice, Shadow and Yagura. I kind of wish Shadow is money. I think that's why I took it. But Yagura also has that daily business show idea of allowing you to put an agenda on the bottom of your
Yeah.
deck.
Shadow also is like confuses the runner.
Yes, I
If they
really
see a
like
shadow,
Shadow.
they're like, oh, what am I
Oh,
running against?
should I clear that tag? Man, Shadow's huge. Shadow's such a big swing in tempo. I like that card a lot.
Yeah.
So I think we're ending the. Oh no, we're not ending the. near the
Almost.
end of
I
that.
think you have maybe 5 more cards to
Yeah.
pick.
So looking at that, we have 5 sentries, a lot of sentries, still only 3 barriers, got some code gates, a lot of ice without subtypes. I think I put troll there at the bottom just because its sentry subtype really is irrelevant. And that's
Adonis? Another
Nope.
shipment?
Yeah, we
Wow.
did it. All 3 shipments, all
3
3
shipments.
efficiency committees. This is now a fast advance deck. How did this happen?
Without Biotic or
Without
Trick of
Biotic.
Light.
How? And
Another Komainu.
yeah, people aren't taking Komainu.
It's probably the 5 cost scares
Yeah.
people.
But I don't think the 1 strength is actually that big of a disadvantage. So I think it might be between Neural Katana and Komainu. Neural Katana can kill. Komainu can't kill. Because there's no way to deal.
No.
It's not like I have House of Knives or anything. And looks like we're gonna take that Neural Katana.
Roll Katana is pretty strong.
Yeah. Hey, more money.
Yeah, the 3-1 is really good in your deck, I think, because you can now. Are you gonna?
Let me know.
Yeah,
No,
I think it's pretty good. If you play the hostile takeover, now you have a way to score another 1 pointer. That gives you money during the game, which is something that you really, really need.
So that
Sundew is gonna get trashed for sure.
Yeah.
I
don't know if I'm gonna end up including Sundew. A lot of
Yeah.
these cards do have to make the cut. From a distance, you can tell what's gonna make the cut and not.
like Punitive Counter Strike.
Yeah,
Not so good.
last pick usually doesn't make it.
Yeah.
Is that it? That's final
Yeah,
round.
that's it.
So, wow, that is 40 cards. I'm gonna have to build something out of this. You know
Yeah.
what? I think I actually have a decent shot at this.
Yeah, I think you might cut like UCF, might cut
The ice is all largely pretty good.
yeah, yeah, most of the ice. Punitive Counter-Strike is out for sure. I don't believe you're gonna play Priority Rec, so your
No.
deck is yeah, it's pretty good. Nice.
Perfect. Well, cool. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll be uploading the runner side of this real shortly and some draft games. Enjoy.
Bye.